Well, you may not be a real estate agent and you may not be an interior designer, but I guarantee you at some point you're going to see a fabulous interior room and you're going to want to photograph it, but maybe you only have your phone and it's kind of a snapshot type picture. Okay, so in this short video, I'm going to show you how to edit an interior space to make it look magazine worthy. Okay, let's begin. So this is the picture that Nicole Horn from Spriggan Home sent me. So Nicole, I'm really happy to help you with this. And the first thing that I would notice is that we need to selectively adjust exposure throughout the picture, but we can't do a general exposure over the entire shot because, take a look at the base of the bed, it's too bright, it's a little bit blown out. So what we're going to do is selectively adjust exposure, and within Lightroom CC, and you can probably do this in other editing software. However, I know that it works really well in the Lightroom CC app and the desktop version. I'm going to go to, sorry, let me back up just so I can show you what I'm doing. I'm going to go to selective at the bottom left, and then I'm going to go to the plus at the top left. I'm going to go to what's called the linear gradient, which is the square, and I'm going to drag from the bottom right until I see the red, which is called a mask. And as you can see, I can place it anywhere I want. It's really flexible. And you can't see this right now, but I'm doing this with my thumb, but you can do it with a touch-sensitive pen or your finger, of course. Okay, so now that I have the area that I want to be made brighter, have that sort of red mask look, I'm going to go to light. So I tap on light, and here I can go to the left to make it darker, or I can go to the right to make it brighter. This is selective adjustment, and I feel that this is probably a good way to do it. I like the amount of brightness there. And interestingly, you can actually fine-tune this wonderful tool after you increase the exposure. This is really effective. Take a look at the side of the bed. Do you see how the side of the bed is getting brighter? This is amazingly effective for real estate agents, for interior designers, for architects who want to show off their interior spaces. Okay, so that's good, but I really like to brighten up the wall as well, where the little, the desk, and there's a little plant. So I'm going to go to the plus. And did you know that you can do multiple linear gradients in a picture? You can do, I think, as many as you want. There's probably a limit, but I've never found it. So, okay, that's good. Now I'm going to go to light again. I'm going to exposure. Do you see how I can selectively just brighten this area? Okay, that's really nice. So it's already becoming a little bit more magazine worthy, isn't it? Next, we go to the bottom right. We're going to click on the check mark, which allows us to accept what we've done. And now with two fingers, we're going to zoom in to the foot of the bed because this is a problem area. As you can see, it's too bright. So we go back to selective at the bottom left. This time, sorry, the same thing, we're just going to go to the plus, but this time we're going to go to the brush. Now the brush tool is really good because all we have to do is brush on the area that we want to adjust. Okay, I've already preset my brush size and all that, but if you go over here, you can tap and make your brush as big or small as you want, actually. Okay, so I like this sort of this mask, the M-A-S-K. This is the red area. I'm going to go to light. Now, in the previous two adjustments, we actually increased the exposure, but now we don't want to increase the exposure. We want to decrease the exposure because it's too bright, okay? Now, I feel that that is probably minus 78. That's probably good. But the problem is when you decrease exposure, especially on lighter items, you lose saturation and you lose a bit of that warmth. So next, we're going to go to color. Let's go to color. We're going to add a little bit of warmth, not too much, then it looks ugly, but just a bit. Let's go to +5. And that looks really good. So we're going to go to the check mark at the bottom right. And this just accepts what we've done. Now with two fingers, we're going to pinch and zoom. And here we go. So let me show you the before. And this is the after. Okay, one more time. Before, after. Now you could say, well, I can do that in any software, I just have to increase the exposure. Well, you could, but don't forget that if you did expose for the entire picture and increase the exposure, then you would have a big problem with the foot of the bed. That's the beauty of what's called selective exposure adjustments. Very doable in Lightroom CC, both the desktop and the mobile app, which I'm using right now. Okay, Nicole, this is your shot. I'm going to send it to you, and hopefully you can use it for your Facebook and website for your business, Sprig and Home. And here we go. So just go to the up arrow, and I'm going to share it with you, maximum available, and I'm going to share it via mail. And the reason I can do this is because it's not a raw file. It was sent to me as a JPEG. So I just go to mail, type in Nicole's name, or sorry, email address, and press send. It's that easy. So I'm just going to delete that draft. And this is how I sort of jazz up interior shots that are a little bit more worthy of advertising. One final thought. If you still want to just make it a little bit more contemporary, I would suggest you go to Profiles. You would take a look at what we have here for basic, artistic, black and white, modern. Go to Modern and add a little bit of what's called a matte filter. So I would say either Modern 8, which may be a bit harsh. Let's go to Modern 10. Modern 10 is a little bit of a slight matte filter, and that's M-A-T-T-E. And it just makes it a little bit more current, I should say. Okay, so let's go to the check mark, and here is the final product. Okay, now I like to always send a shot to my camera roll only if I'm sharing it with the world. Otherwise, I keep all of my images within my Lightroom collection. I don't need to send them anywhere else. So I'm going to save to camera roll, maximum available. And now that I made this change, I will send it to Nicole right away so she can upload it. Okay, that's it. And yeah, I think it looks pretty good before and after. Thank you so much for watching this. I really hope you enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoy editing photos, and I enjoy editing photos just as much as I do taking them. So if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. And also, if you want to have any instruction from me within any genre of photography, please, I encourage you to leave a message below saying, Mark, I need some instruction in this type of photography, or I need some instruction with regards to this type of equipment. I'm always happy to help. So feel free to leave that information below, and happy photography, happy editing, and I'll see you in the next video.